Hello, and welcome to Loose Threads, a true crime podcast that goes behind the scenes of some of the most fascinating and frustrating missing persons cases in America, and the unusual and driven people who insert themselves into these mysteries. Why do people insert themselves into criminal cases, and what consequences have they and others suffered as a result? Does it ever really help? As someone who has been there and done that, I may be uniquely qualified to explore these topics. So join me as we investigate the many twists and turns of public advocacy in American justice. When Frank Phillip left the Deorr investigation in September 2015, the case took a turn, but not in the way many had hoped. I stepped back from direct communication with the family, increasingly uneasy about what I was seeing unfold in both the media and Facebook discussions. By November, a major fundraising push emerged to hire a new private investigator, Phillip Klein. Arriving cold to the case, Klein methodically retraced every step, starting from square one. It didn't take long for him to uncover more of the family's questionable actions, many of which had gone unnoticed or unchallenged. Then, on March 1, 2016, Klein detailed his disturbing findings in a public news article. He found contradictions in the family's accounts. Jessica stated that she knew where the missing child was. Klein's cadaver dog alerts also suggested something more sinister. The very next day, he was fired. Yet Klein's investigation didn't end there. A distant relative stepped in, rehiring him to continue digging. By July 2016, he had compiled his final report, concluding that there was no evidence of an animal attack or of an abduction, forced or unforced. But there was evidence of a homicide, whether accidental or intentional. This was not the conclusion the family wanted to hear. In response, Vernal Kunz filed a defamation lawsuit against Klein, seemingly in an attempt to discredit the findings and shut down further scrutiny. But the move only amplified public interest in the case. The suit was eventually dropped, with Klein citing Sullivan versus New York Times as a key defense, reinforcing that his conclusions were drawn from evidence, not fabrication, and protected as matters of public concern. At this stage in the case, did Klein's findings signal a real breakthrough, or did they push investigators into even more uncertainty? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear how you see this unfolding. The deeper we go into this case, the more tangled it becomes. Now, let's unravel the key details straight from Klein himself. One of the earliest leads in this case was the staring man Jessica claimed to have seen at the stage stop that morning. Frank Phillip pursued this angle, but Klein stated there was never a Jeep there that day.
My position is that I have to stick with what I've been told by witnesses and from law enforcement, that the black Rubicon was never seen. And then she just said, I can't do this anymore, I'm out of it.
Do you believe Jessica's account was based on a real observation, or was her story shaped by outside conversations, including law enforcement's discussion of the tip? At the time, the Jeep theory dominated public speculation, with many convinced that the staring man was connected to it. But Klein's investigation, along with statements from law enforcement, directly contradicted the existence of such a vehicle at the stage stop that morning. Had Jessica initially believed she saw something suspicious, or had discussions with law enforcement and investigators altered her account? Does Jessica's withdrawal from the story suggest that she realized that she was wrong, or was this a deliberate effort to distance herself from deeper suspicions? Sound off in the comments. Your thoughts could bring new perspective to this case. As the investigation evolved, new tensions emerged, particularly in the courtroom. Vernal's lawsuit wasn't just about legal action.
I think his attorney wanted us to back down because I think he thought we were getting closer.
If Klein's team was getting closer, what exactly did they uncover that made Vernal's legal team push so hard for silence? The lawsuit ultimately collapsed, with Sullivan versus New York Times playing a key role. Klein's defense rested on a crucial legal precedent, one that protects journalists and investigators from being sued over opinions and reporting on matters of public interest. The case quickly fell apart, reinforcing that his findings were based on evidence, not fabrication.
None of us made it up. We just followed the evidence.
Law enforcement, at multiple levels, considered both parents persons of interest.
Why would all these people, law enforcement, both federal, state, and local, say not only is he a person of interest, but she's a person of interest? Is this so outrageous?
This wasn't just one agency honing in on the parents. It was multiple at every level of law enforcement. The deeper Klein's team dug, the more their suspicions aligned with investigators who had been following the case from day one. Threaders, at this point, what do you think happened?
Again, I've told everyone as long as the day is everywhere, it's my opinion, my true opinion, that Vernal got high, Jessica got high, I think it was meth, and I think they ran over the boy. I do not think they did it on purpose.
We've unraveled some serious threads today, but there's still so much left to stitch together in this case. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep this conversation going. If you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new episode. We've got more twists, turns, and loose stitches to pull at next time, so stick around. See you in the next episode.